Why can't I find my dot or my sights when I draw quickly?
Today's video is brought to us by Mantis. The Mantis family of products is integral to ASP staff building handgun and carbine skills and are your most economical and fastest path to improvement in your skills too. Whether you choose the X10, the Laser Academy, the Blackbeard, or use them all in concert, they will help your practice be more effective, efficient, and fun. Go check them out, pick up a unit, and thank them for sponsoring today's video.
Hey guys, welcome to Mantis Dry Fire Monday. I'm Brian Hill with the Complete Combatant. You're on Active Self-Protection Extra, but you knew that because you came here. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. Now, a lot of you, you know that the dot has some value for you, but it also has some problems. And one of the problems that I find is people can't find the dot on the draw. I'm going to give you some simple solutions, things you need to look for. But I would also, before you iron sight shooters check out of this video, think about this. This works the same way for iron sights. This would be a good pattern to develop, and it's going to save you some time, and we'll talk about what those time limits are. All right, let's get our gun out. Let's check it real quick. Okay. All right. Now, several things that make us miss the dot. We have too many parts moving. The hands are moving forward and the head's dropping at the same time. We can compare to the world's hardest skill. It's not quite the same, but they say that there's nothing harder physically than to land an airplane on an aircraft carrier. We've got a boat that's moving in all sorts of patterns and a plane that's doing the same thing. In order to line those things up, it requires tremendous physical ability. Think about when you draw and you decide that I need to put my head down as the gun goes up, you're going to be missing the aircraft carrier as you come in. The reason this is a bad habit is it's unnecessary. Okay? What we really want to do is put the head in the right place. Look at the target, settle our eyes, and then when you draw the gun, it should come through your eye line. So my head's going to be right here, and I'm seeing the dot well. The reason that we stretch forward like this is we want to drop and get down because the gun is slightly lower than our eye line. So in order to have the best grip, we tend to break our wrist if we bring it up too high. So if the gun's even with your shoulders, it's okay to drop your head a little bit. But my suggestion would be is move your head before you do the shooting part. Almost in everything, whether I'm going to be drawing in self-defense or I'm going to be working at a match or I'm going to practice, I simply get a postural setup and then I can drop my head to the right place. And the only thing I'm moving is the gun. That makes the front iron sight drop in the notch appropriately. It makes the dot come in from 12 o'clock. So let's get that head still. A lot of people like to talk about the shoulders. It depends on your holster position. If you have a strong side holster, you're going to have to flex the shoulder up. If you have an appendix, a little bit of shoulder movement may be available to you. It may not be the best idea, but it's not the worst habit. Dropping the head is much worse. Now, I've done everything right, but what I tried to do is I tried to line the gun up straight with my eye line and push it straight out. And that sounds like really good advice. Get it up sooner and make it move in a straight line. The only problem is we don't move that way. We have three circles that are moving the gun: the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. And what we're sacrificing when we get the gun in a straight motion is grip. We can't really grip the gun effectively, so we can see sooner, but we can't hold it sooner. Frankly, for me, I'd rather have a better grip on the gun. I'm not going to see the sights until the extension anyway. I can't see them early enough to make a difference. That's not the way it works. Feel free to experiment with that and see if it works out for you the same way. But what you'll see is as soon as you try to get it, there's where I can see the dot. Now look at this grip. This grip is actually coming off the gun because if I hold on to it really tight, I have to flex my wrist. So I'm giving up a lot of extent. And what happens at the end with those wrists flexed, it drives the gun down. So if I see the dot too early, I'm putting this much motion in it, and as I extend these two circles, it drives the gun in a circular motion down. You really can't make a straight line as a human being unless you're using three joints, and we're doing that, but we're trying to only use two. We want to use the shoulder and the elbow. If we have to use the wrist also, it requires that we start fishing or bowling or whatever you want to call it, dipping the wrist. So let's not try to bring the gun into the eye line. We can bring the front sight up earlier so we have something to track on the way out. We're going to use peripheral vision to do it. Final thing I'd suggest is tighten up your support hand. The gun's out, you didn't find the dot. So simply take this hand, take the pinky, the ring finger, the middle finger, and tighten it up. If the dot doesn't come down from up there, there's a huge problem. It's usually up in this area. Just tighten the support hand. Problem I see on the line is a lot of people draw it, they don't find the dot, then they move their head in a circle and they move the gun around and they can't find it. A lot of you have adopted Holoson's product of the giant reticle, and what I find with most people is that reticle stops being used about 3 weeks into training. It is a training wheels activity. If you have iron sights on your gun, you simply can use those better than a reticle. So if I draw right here and it's not here, look at your iron sights, just reference them for the time being and go, all right, it was high, or it's off left or right. I would not shoot a dot gun without iron sights. I like both. They have advantages and disadvantages. Why not have two systems? Okay? So 3 things to reiterate. Number 1, you may be dropping your head as the gun comes up. Number 2, you're trying to create a visual index that ruins your grip. And number 3, at the end, you're not applying a corrective methodology such as tightening the hand or seeking out something that could tell you where the dot is so that you can fix it in real time and give that immediacy to the feedback. That'll allow you to correct it sooner, all right? It is there. How does this work for iron sights? I shoot iron sights the same way I shoot red dots. I look at the target mostly. I don't need a clear front sight. I need alignment. I'm looking for alignment as I shoot. So the same thing, if I was just on the irons here, what I'm going to do is see the alignment in my peripheral vision. Okay? And your peripheral vision is very good at lining things up. That's the way you drive. You don't look in the foveal cone at the front sight on your hood so that you can drive. You look at the whole road and you fix yourself and put yourself in the space. Now, if I'm shooting a very fine, small target, it requires precision, or I'm shooting at a lot of distance, I'm still going to have to see the target front sight and the rear sight, and I may change my vision. It's contextually relative. Boy, that was a hard word all of a sudden. I don't know what happened there. All right, but it's contextually relative to the size of the target and distance. But if you have a big green dot or a red dot, fiber optic, something like that on your front sight, which you would, it's going to catch your vision, and you don't have to look at it. You need to align it. All right, I hope those things help you guys out as a shooter. It's a long process. There's not just one way to do things. It's relative to how much refinement we need on it, but don't move your head. Big deal, guys. Whether iron sights or red dots, keep the head still, okay? Move the elbows and the shoulders. Don't try to get it in a straight line. This takes longer to come up and out than it would in a smooth circular motion like our body moves. If you don't believe me, look at punchers. They don't really throw straight punches, they throw a circular punch. Even a jab is a combination of circles, it's a twisting action. So keep your grip, drive the gun out, and then finally, as you're driving the gun out and you're seeing everything, make sure you apply a corrective mechanism. If it's not there when you want it to be, don't get mad, don't get aggravated, fix it right then, and recognize that the correction will work for you every time, and you can have faith in what you're doing. All right, I hope that helps you out, guys. I'm Brian Hill with the Complete Combatant Active Self-Protection Extra, and this is Mantis' Monday, so you can look at your draw path on it. There's a chart that shows you the draw path on the holster analysis, and for an appendix person, it's going to look like this, kind of an S hook. It's going to be a bigger hook from strong side, and that shows you the way the muzzle moves through space. That'll help you a lot on refining. It should be fairly consistent and in the same couple of degrees of movement every time. All right, guys. As always, measure, refine, and perform.